Hi, this is Jordan Ramirez, and normally I host my podcast show, Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez. Now I am hosting a special show for my podcast, Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez, Minisode, Jordan Ramirez Recommends. The minisodes are now airing every Monday at 12 p.m. as part of the Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez podcast. So, without further ado, you are listening to Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez, Minisode. For my fifth episode, the final film that I have selected for French New Wave Month, I am going to recommend the film La Beau Serge from 1958, directed by Claude Chabrol, starring Jean-Claude Brialy and Gerard Blain. Francois, played by Jean-Claude Brialy, returns home to the village after a long time in the city to find that the residents in the village have changed, especially his friend Serge, played by Gerard Blain. Serge was supposed to be an architect and is now working as a truck driver in the small village. Serge married Yvonne, and after the death of their first child, he became an alcoholic. Francois wants to help his friend Serge overcome his problems of accepting responsibility and taking care of himself, since Serge refuses to live in the real world or help his own wife. The film marked the directorial debut of Claude Chabrol, who was nicknamed the French Alfred Hitchcock because he was so adept at thrillers as his forte. Chabrol, like his contemporaries, was also a critic for the film magazine Cahiers de Cinéma, like François Truffaut and Jean-Luc Godard. This film was actually the first film to be the real start of the French New Wave movement in France. Chabrol mostly drew from his own life story when writing the film La Beau Serge and set the story in his hometown of Saudent. He wrote the screenplay in 1957 after Roberto Rossellini came to Paris to produce 16mm films by young first-time French directors. Chabrol's wife Agnès inherited a large sum of money from her grandmother at $150,000 and used it to finance his first feature film. He originally wanted to shoot his film Les Cousins first, but filming in Paris was too expensive, and so he shot this film instead since it was much cheaper to film in the village for its realistic setting and atmosphere. The film was shot in 9 weeks on a budget of 32 million francs. He cast in the film Jean-Claude Brialy and Gerard Blain since they appeared in bit parts in previous films. This film would essentially mark their careers in French cinema. The film focuses on the themes of disillusionment, redemption, and appearances that are not what they seem that hone in on the story all throughout this picture. He also wanted to explore the theme of guilt in the picture as well as paying attention to tangible details and as an advancement to the story. When the film was finished in February of 1958, Chabrol went back to Paris to edit the film alongside his editor Jacques Gaillard, and it was later submitted to the Film Aid Board once it was completed. The film had its premiere at the 1958 Cannes Film Festival, and his colleague François Truffaut wrote a review for the film. Here is a brief excerpt. Technically, the film is as masterful as if Chabrol had been directing for 10 years, though this is his first contact with a camera. Here is an unusual and courageous film that will raise the level of French cinema this year, end quote. The film managed to earn Claude Chabrol the 1959 Prix Jean Vigo Award by the French cinema establishment in recognition of the originality of his debut film. I am in awe of this film as a wonderful character study, as a film that feels like an Italian neo-realist film with documentary-like quality and casting actual residents of the village to be in the film to give it authenticity. Some of the Hitchcockian elements that I noticed, besides using the theme of guilt, is the use of Catholicism that is prominent in the film and the use of camera angles and shots that Chabrol knew from Hitchcock as I was watching it from beginning to end. Brialy and Blain are terrific in their performances as the two best friends who have not seen each other in a long time, and it shows. I hope you enjoy my recommendation of this film from the French New Wave movement. This has been a Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez minisode. Tune in to the minisodes every Monday at 12 p.m. and Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez every Friday at 4 p.m. on Anchor, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Just as a reminder, I will be taking a 1-week hiatus since I will be on vacation to San Francisco, and I will be back with my next film review as soon as possible. And until then, I'll see you at the movies.